Right now at 11, a conversation with the chief. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell will join us once a month to address important topics related to public safety and department policies. NBC4's Conan Nolan will lead that conversation. Conan and the chief are here with me in studio. And Conan, there's a lot to talk about. Chief, Conan, thank you both for joining us.
Thanks, Annabelle. Yes, there's a lot to talk about. Chief, thanks for taking the time.
Sure.
Listen, so we saw what happened in Michigan and Virginia yesterday.
Right.
It looks like lone wolf domestic terrorism. We
Right.
know what's happening in the Middle East. You've said that you've stepped up patrols around places of worship
Right.
in L.A. What does that mean? Because your officers are already stressed. They're headed out to calls all the time.
Right.
Is that, if you have time, drive around the synagogue, see and be seen, is that it?
Yeah, no, high visibility is part of it. Being in touch with the leaders in each of these communities is a big part of it. So to be able to go out and check in, see what the pulse is, to what are the needs, and be able to try as best we can to facilitate that.
So the mayor and the council have asked to chronicle all the interactions between your department and Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Right.
The Inspector General for the Police Commission wants reports. You've already told them that the only reason you interact with them is for crowd control. You don't enforce immigration law. Do they not believe you? Or is this a matter that they think that the rank and file have sympathies with ICE officers, and that's why they want to listen to the body cameras?
Yeah, no, the Inspector General has access to pretty much everything we do. We're as transparent an organization as you could find anywhere. They have that right and that ability, and we encourage it because we want to be very clear as to what our role relative to immigration enforcement is, which is that we don't enforce civil immigration law. So when we get to a scene where ICE is doing an enforcement action, our role there is to keep the peace, make sure everybody in that environment is safe. We don't assist ICE. We don't interfere with ICE. We can't by law. So we get out there and we're seen in that environment. So some of the community members don't feel comfortable there. They interpret that as helping ICE. So the executive order that the mayor put out kind of lays out clearly what our role is and what it isn't, with a measure of accountability for that, which we welcome.
Are you afraid, though, that they'll be saying, hey, this officer said nice things to this ICE agent?
Yeah, no, we're out there. We want to be civil with everybody. Our officers act professionally when they get there. They don't take sides. They're there to keep the peace and make sure that everybody leaves the scene healthy.
You had members of the council who had, I know one member wanted you to let them know where ICE was going to operate, which is a violation of federal law, obviously.
Yeah.
But is there a concern within the members of the council as to the relationship you have with ICE?
You know, I don't feel that. I think we've been very clear with them. I've had opportunities, every opportunity I get, to be able to delineate what our role is, what our responsibilities are, what we do and don't do. And LAPD has had the same policy going back to 1978. Chief Darrell Gates at the time believed that if we were to engage in civil immigration enforcement, we would lose the trust of the immigrant communities, which then would put us in a great disadvantage as far as being able to get people to report crimes, be able to investigate them, and be able to clear them. It wouldn't be in the interest of public safety in Los Angeles. So that's worked well for us for about 50 years.
Okay, so we have the World Cup global event coming to L.A., Inglewood, outside the city, but you have events here.
Yeah.
The other day, we had in the highest density neighborhood in the city, we had a street takeover that ended up in an apartment complex with people being beaten and windows being smashed.
Right.
Should we be worried?
No, we saw that and very disturbed by that. We got units out there, but what you saw occur on the video happened before we got enough resources there to be able to effectively deal with it. We have enhanced, and with the mayor announced this week, we're going to enhance our ability to be able to surge resources where we need them along the Figueroa corridor, from the Jewelry District down to LA Live. We want to enhance our visibility, but we also want to have strong enforcement actions for those who are there to take advantage of the situation.
Talking about resources, you don't have enough police.
No.
And the mayor knows that.
Yep.
The council doesn't seem to know that.
I think they know it, and they're trying to be able to use what budget dollars they have for the number of different things that are important to them. And I try and get out there as often as I can to make the case that when I compare us with New York or Chicago, we have less than half the officer-to-population ratio that they have. So our folks are extremely lean. We get out there, and the impact that has is on response time, on the ability to back each other up, the ability for them on a personal level to get days off, to spend time with the family, and to be able to, have some kind of work-life balance, as you will. The work they're doing under the conditions that they're challenged with is amazing to me. You know, when we see the reductions in crime last year and then first quarter of this year, I don't know that anybody would believe that came from somewhere else that we can do what we're doing with the resources we have. So I'm very, very proud of our people.
LA Police Chief Jim McDonnell, thanks very much.
Conan,
we'll see you next month.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.